Hello, 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 beloveds. Welcome to another episode of A Spiritual Remedy. My name is Sunshine Day, and what a joy it is to greet you on this Monday morning. Let me know where you are viewing from. Let me know what's happening, where you are, and where you're checking in from today. You know, a spiritual remedy started a couple of years ago where I wanted to be able to simply interact with people on a spiritual basis, in particular, people in 12-step recovery. Now, the reason I say that is because, as someone who's also a recovering alcoholic, good morning, Chan. So good to have you with us this morning. And Nancy, good morning, good morning. As someone who is, and of course, Sunny Day, hey. Now, I did say I wanted to say something besides good morning. So hello and top of the day to you. So what I see clean and sober people living their best life and loving it. And that, of course, expands to I see people uh, enjoying their life, living their best life. And how I imagine that happens is by people learning spiritual tools and practicing spiritual tools and using these spiritual tools to enhance their living. And one of the things that I know about 12-step program is that all of them, in some form or fashion, bring you back to consciousness, bring you back to this idea that we've been separated from consciousness. In other words, that we come to believe that a power greater than ourselves can restore us to sanity, that we turn our will and our lives over to the care of this power and this presence, and that there is an infinite intelligence that is seeking to express itself in, through, and as us. And so I started a spiritual remedy to be able to have these discussions publicly and to be able to support one another, to build a spiritual learning community where we can support one another in our growth and unfoldment. Now, what's important about this spiritual community that is being created here is that we don't have to be like-minded. It helps. But more importantly for me is being love-minded, that we are in a love-minded community, that we can love one another so tough, so deep, so plentiful that hey, what's up, Michelle Lopez? Glad to have you with us today. That we could love one another so deep and so fiercely that even if we don't think exactly the same, even if we're not alike in our thinking in a particular area, that it doesn't matter because love overrides all of that. And so, today I wanna see what's up for you. Is there anything that's up for you that you want to talk about? If not, I have a topic that I want to talk about, that is near and dear to my heart, and I'll tell you in just a second. I just want to see if there's anything that any of you want to talk about or that you need support with. So I'll continue to say this, that I'm grateful that Vida Spiritual Learning Center, which is a spiritual learning center that I am a part of, along with some other amazing members, we have put together Vida Spiritual Learning Center, which used to be a spiritual community, but it is now specifically to learn spiritual practices, to have spiritual experiences. We're having courses and classes and groups and meetups so that we are a learning community and we learn together. And I want to share with you that August the 12th is our open house in Huntington Beach. We have an amazing space where we're going to be having courses and classes. And of course, we're still also going to be doing all of this stuff here with you on all of our social media platforms. So I asked, what's up for you? What do you have to talk about, or you want some help on? And thank you, Jason. Jason is saying family and acceptance. And that's great, because I want to tie in family and acceptance to what I have, because it's so freaking awesome. Now, I just recently, Nancy says forgiveness. So family, acceptance, and forgiveness. All right, thank you. This is going to be quite interesting to do. In 15 minutes, we're going to have a meaningful conversation. Now, here's the way I get to tie it in. I most recently picked up a new pair of glasses by Chuck C. And one of the things that Chuck C talks about in his book, A New Pair of Glasses, is this idea that God is not outside of us, and that we actually have our being in spirit, in God, in higher power. Now, I was talking about higher power earlier, just as I was asking you to contribute to the conversation. And I love that Chuck C. Let me grab the page and put on my glasses here. Now, Chuck C. says, he drew a circle, and I'll share this with you here. Now, in this circle, this is the circle that he draws here, and he has life, good, and God, and he's got a line. So here's life, good, and God, and then he's got this line, and then that's Chuck. Now, in this life, good, and God, what he explains here is the circle that I drew, I'm thinking, represents the universe, everything in it, all there is, and there ain't no more. So if you can just imagine that this circle is all that there is, and it's expansive, it really is all that there is, there's nothing more. And then those three words in the circle, life, good, God, insofar as I'm concerned, are synonymous. So I like to use life. I say life. I say life when I really mean God. And hi, Janet Carroll. When I really mean God, and for me, those are synonymous as well. Good, God, life, right? They mean the same thing. So that's it. That's all there is, and there ain't no more. The line represents the feeling of conscious separation from. So that line that he's writing there, it's like, wait a minute. If God is all there is, if life is all there is, if good is all there is, then my ego, then I am separating myself from this all good, this all power, this all perfection, right? The line represents the feeling of conscious separation from. And as we said before, that human ego, that's human ego. That's the only roadblock between me and God. And there I am out in left field all by myself. So here's the idea, is that everything that spirit, that life, that infinite intelligence has created is created from itself. Life, good, God is all there is. I mean, when we think about all of the major religions and philosophies, there is a power, a presence, a life, and this life has created everything. Now, it created everything out of itself. Therefore, my life is its creation. And it also stands to reason that therefore that which is true of spirit, of life, of good, of God is true about me. All of the qualities that we're talking about, that we think about, this awesome, amazing, infinite intelligence, it's true about me because I'm living and having my being in this power and presence. There is no outside of God. There is only this power and this presence. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, go ahead and write something in the chat so I know that I'm not, talking out in left field. Now, the thing is that we have been taught, and especially in 12-step program, we've been taught that there is a God and you're not it. Okay, I get that. I'm not it, but I am its creation. And then therefore that which is true of it is true about me in human form, in the capacity that I'm able to be and express loving intelligence, infinite intelligence in this body, in this flesh suit, right? So here's the idea then. When we're talking about loving someone after forgiveness, thank you, Jan, for that as well. When we're talking about forgiveness, when we're talking about family and acceptance, now with this idea in mind, how does all of this fit? How is this all interconnected? Well, here's the idea, beloveds. If in fact the only thing that separates me from life, from God, from good is my ego, my edging God out, right? Remember we talked about that a couple of times ago. The edging God out, right? If my edging God out ego separates me from the allness, and that's only consciously, because truly, I could never be separated from my source, from my power, from my life. I could never, ever be separated from this. So when I instead entertain good only or entertain God only, when I recognize that there's one power, one presence, one life, it has created everything out of itself. Therefore, my life is its life. The life of God is the way that I express in human form, that I am the life of God in human form. And that which is true of spirit is true of me. Then it also stands to reason that your family members are also the same, right? That their true essence, just like your true essence is pure spirit, that their true essence is also pure spirit. And that this idea of family and acceptance is that when I see you, I see spirit. I see the unique, unrepeatable way that spirit shows up in human form. Now, I might not like your behaviors. I might not like how you walk, how you talk, how you speak to me. I might not like any of that. I might not like how you treat me. But so many times we forget who we really are. Now, and unless we're in spiritual learning circles like these, where we get to be reminded on a daily, on a weekly basis, who we really are and who we really are to one another, that we're actually all connected, like unless I become aware of that, I'm going to be hating on you. I'm going to be in unforgiveness. Let's see what my friend Jeanette Bronson has to say this morning. Good morning, beloved. Some of my best thoughts come from left field, but yeah. But yeah, this works. Absolutely. I mean, sometimes we do have to be so far out there, right? So separated from life and where we're looking kind of like, how come I'm not at the party? Right? How come I'm not the party? Oh yeah. Like even in my drunken days when it's just like, how come my life is like this? Oh, wait a minute. This is not really what life is all about. So you're right, Jeanette. And I totally get you. But yes, right. Even in that diagram where Chuck was way in left field, separated from God, we do that to ourselves. And it is only through some bright idea, through some reconnection, that we actually begin to entertain good only, to entertain life only. Let's see what Nancy has to say. Nancy says, I'm only separate when I'm not honoring who I am and who you are. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. Michelle Lopez says, my pride likes to take over and I forget my ego is taking charge. Bring it back and giving it up is freely. Yes, giving it up is freeing. It is absolutely freeing. So when it comes to, right, as we got 5 minutes left, I think we're doing pretty good here. Um, as we begin to look at this idea that living energy, that force, that power, that presence, that is life, that inhabits us, that is occupying this human flesh, um, that is what connects us. So that breath of life, that life energy in me is a life energy in you. That's what makes us interconnected. And because people forget who they are, and because people forget that who we are is spirit, pure spirit, the essence of spirit, that we are love, that we are light, that this is who we are. And we begin to believe that we're against each other, or that because we're different, that there's something wrong with you or something wrong with me. And that is the furthest from the truth. Infinite intelligence and spirit has created everything to be variety and difference. There are no two things that are exactly the same, not even our own fingerprints, right? So the idea of forgiveness is to give up this idea that that person has wronged you, right? Here's the idea is, let's pick a name. We'll pick Chuck. We'll pick Chuck. Okay, Chuck, I have this expectation that Chuck is supposed to be a particular way because, Chuck is a husband, a man, a woman, because Chuck is this or that or the other thing. It could be your partner, fill in the blank for the name Chuck. This is my mom, my dad, my sister, my husband, my best friend, my lover, my coworker. Like, we have these ideas and expectations on who people are supposed to be. And that's where we go wrong, because we have these expectations. Oh, well, society says this. Well, yeah. And, keep living up to that right there. But Chuck is not who I thought Chuck was. Chuck may not even have the capacity, the capability, the skills, the traits. Good morning, Mahogany. Hello, beloved. The traits, the characteristics to be who I want him to be, or her to be, or whoever to be, or them to be. But who's that on? That's on me. That's on me. I have this expectation that they're supposed to be a particular way. They didn't even get the memo. And even if they do get the memo, they get to live their life the way they get to live their life. I just don't have to be a part of it. And so because I'm the one expecting someone to be a particular way, I get to reel it in and kind of be in acceptance. Not kind of be, I get to be in acceptance and go, this is who Chuck is right now. This is who Chuck is right now. And because this is who Chuck is right now, I get into acceptance. I get into that acceptance that this is who they are. This is who she is, who he is, all of it. This is who they are. Jan says, I'm taking with me, I am the life of God in human form today. I love that. I'm so glad. Yeah. And Michelle says it so clearly right here. Not everyone is for me, and that's okay. I mean, we are thinking beings. We make things mean a particular thing. Okay, I got to wrap this up. So here's the idea around back again to family and acceptance, right? Family and acceptance, forgiveness, and forgiving people, right? Forgiving people and loving people anyway. When I actually do my forgiveness work, when I get into acceptance that so-and-so before me is who they are, and it's me who's made up this pedestal from which they need to stand, that it is me that has set this ball in motion. And I get to go, wow, they are showing me who they are in this moment. And I need to get into acceptance of that. This is who they are. They're not capable of being what I want them to be, but who am I to want that, right? I might think, am I back in ego that I think that I'm better than them or that I know better for them? Or am I just pissed at them because they're making my life so inconvenient? If you would only do what I want you to do, if you would only be the perfect wife, the perfect husband, if you would only manage this or do that or be this, my life would be easy. What happens is you're making it inconvenient for me. And I got to get with that, I'm inconvenienced, right? So Nancy says she wants me to stay after class. So I'm going to stay for 2 more minutes. All right, Rev Kev, just like I said. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I get to let it go. I get to let go of those ideas and thoughts and beliefs of how I saw this person being and just be in acceptance. And because spirit is love, because God is love, because life is indeed love, then come from that loving place. I get to forgive myself for having these thoughts and pedestals in which in which I put people and place people upon. And then I also get to love myself and I get to love them. And so that's the part about loving those who I have forgiven. Really, have I really forgiven them, or have I just simply given forth and given up this idea of who they're supposed to be? You let me know about that. But that is what I love about just kind of reading just a little bit from A New Pair of Glasses, about having this concept and idea of a higher power. And in the month of September coming up, I'm going to be having a couple of courses and classes. I'm going to be doing a class on living the serenity prayer. And then I'm also going to be doing a class on a new pair of glasses. So stay tuned for that coming up. Beloveds, I trust that today's word and that my enthusiasm and that my love for you and my love for life has been contagious. Thank you, Jan, for taking this with you. I think I'll leave us with that on that note. I'm taking with me, I am the life of God in human form. I encourage you to take that with you today and to really, really just be with that and the all that that means for you. All right. Until next week, know that you are loved and that you mean the world to me. Bye for now.